This is the Heart with Statton podcast. Welcome back, everybody. I am Statton, and these are my co-host, my lovely bunch of coconuts, Lil, Alderon, Hergon, and we have a guest that may be reoccurring every now and then, and she is Alderon's girl. She looks just like Anna Kendrick, only vastly different. Her name is Morgino. Say hi to the viewers.
Hello.
I like her more than Anna Kendrick, even though I like Anna Kendrick a lot.
I don't know. I think someone said I look more like what's her name off of Big Bang Theory. The
Amy.
Neuro.
The blonde or Penny?
Not Penny. The Sheldon's girlfriend.
Oh, I love her, Amy.
Yeah,
Amy.
Yep.
I love Amy. She's so cute.
Which one was the other blonde?
The other one,
Bernadette.
Oh, Bernadette. That's right. I remember now. Okay. Well, how are we?
Okay, so if I understand correctly, today's subject is going to be for horror games for Halloween, and it's optional if it's anime or not non-anime. If I understood correctly, am I correct, Lil, on that? I'll take that as a yes.
Sorry, I have a bunch of spooky sound bites that I will be integrating through the entire podcast. So I apologize in advance. Not really. Deal with it.
She's very trigger happy.
Very trigger happy. So
Would be kind of dark if it turns out your soundboard is just the guy you kidnapped in the basement.
we don't talk about Alfred, okay? Okay. Anyway, so yes, mostly it's about anime horror shows and video games or Japanese horror. Reason being that I picked that is one, me and Stat have a game. I don't know if you guys played it either.
Doki.
Dude, that game scared the crap out of me. I played that until 3 o'clock in the morning and regret. Anyway, we'll get to that in a bit. But also, Japanese horror is by far, I feel like, the most horrific of most. I mean, not to disgrade some of other horrors that made in our country or various other countries or whatever. Our country being America, because you got a Poland guy, which you didn't mention this time, Stat. So racist. But. That being said, is that I always found Japanese horror being like that extra kick, you know? A lot of what is popular, like The Ring, The Grudge, and various others, there's like something about a photo or whatever, is also based off Japanese horror. So I always thought Japanese horror would be a good, thing to talk about. But if you don't know Japanese horror or anime horror or even video games, you can do regular horror. Whatever scares the crap out of you, makes you want to pee your bed at night.
Before we go too far, I need to ask, can anybody on the stream hear us? Or can you hear everybody? Yeah, we don't want to get too far, only to have to start over.
Yeah, we've done that once already. That sucked.
Yes, it did. For you.
Well, yeah, because yeah. I can actually test it, so I don't know if anybody's watching.
So far, I've been hearing everybody.
You've been hearing everybody?
Yeah,
Leave it to
I have.
that stuff.
See, I got the Discord hooked up to the PS5, and I'm watching the stream right now as I am in the Discord chat. So I have 2 audios playing in my ears right now. I lowered the YouTube audio and have the Discord audio up high. So
there you go.
Also, really quick, Ark, if you're watching this, I am still working on the stuff you showed me on how to improve the display of Discord on the stream. I just been so busy, I haven't gotten around to it, but I promise you, I am very appreciative of it, and I will work on it as soon as I can.
You got it wrong. I'm joking. Okay. So how are we proceeding here, Stat? I did put a talking point checklist there if you want to go by that.
Yeah, we'll go by the checklist. Just especially considering the fact that we've started kind of late.
Did we? Oh yeah, we did a little bit.
Yes, we did. But that was my fault. That wasn't any of you.
Sure. Shame on you, Stat.
Anyways, so hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. I'm looking up at the talking point. So let's introduce our new member. Oh wait, I already did that. Morgino, tell us a little about yourself, won't you?
Sure. So I'm a nurse. I guess I don't know if we were allowed to say our town or not. But I'm a nurse anyway.
I don't think we've ever discussed our town or location too much. We also haven't really said our actual names. We have said our occupations, I think, because I'm technically an EVS. So hey, buddy.
Yeah, I'm sure we've both seen a lot of stuff, a lot of horror things.
No, it's not even the blood; it's the shit. It's the shit. Don't even get me started on C. diff. Don't get that, guys. It's bad.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm sure we've both seen so much nasty stuff, especially C. diff. You're right. That smells awful. You smell it once, you'll never forget.
Nope. You see
All
it
of a
once,
sudden,
you'll never forget.
Boy doesn't taste the same.
What was that?
I said all of a sudden while listening to you, this candy bar doesn't quite taste the same anymore.
Oh, trust me, once you see C. diff, it won't ever look the same either.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Anyone ever watch what was that movie with freaking Eddie Murphy in it? Daddy Daycare. Ever
Yep.
watch that?
Oh,
And there's that scene where he goes in after the little boy who went I slipped or I missed. And he looks in the bathroom and it's this horror sound and he's looking all up, down, and over. That's C. diff.
so, but now, continuing on, since you are our guest, Morgino, why don't you kick it off by telling us if you've experienced any horror games or movies or shows, and which ones do you like and why?
Let's see. So the only one that comes to mind, I don't know very many Japanese things, anime, horror, anything like that. But
And so I didn't have an option to even talk about it, so it's all good.
okay. But I think that comes to mind from my childhood that I remember is Saw movies.
Ooh, yeah.
So the one scene that plays through my mind a lot is where the axe is coming down on this guy, and basically cuts him in half. And I remember seeing that as a child, and I was traumatized from that. But since then, I've watched all the Saw movies, and it's oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
It got kind of redundant after a while, I think. I feel like they just kind of lost their way. It was really good up until 5. I'm okay, are we done yet?
I think the first one was the best one. I think it's always kind of that way. But yeah, I would say that is for movies. And then as for a game, I know Stat was playing this not too long ago, but I think it's Fears of Fathom, I believe.
Fears of Fathom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little freaky.
Yeah, especially in the later episodes, it gets super spooky.
I'm starting to discover all the spooky things, so I get it. I just played Outlast recently. Fuck that game.
But I would definitely say, I know we're talking about movies and games and everything, but true crime, the actual reality stuff, oh yeah. I've listened to a lot of that recently, so I'm just oh my gosh, what is wrong with people? Why do they do that? And yeah.
I don't know why, but when you're saying that, I think of Hermes from Futurama when they're watching them sticking something up Fry's backside with a camera, and he's eating popcorn, but he's like, "This is nauseating, man." He just keeps eating.
Honestly, I was thinking of something different. I was thinking like, what is wrong with people? How could they get caught on such a simple thing?
So
Think about it.
I don't. It lost me.
So, my bad. I shouldn't have interrupted.
No, you're fine. Speaking of true crime, last night while I was editing one of my videos, that reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on Netflix. It's called Woman of the Hour. It was short, and it's based off a true story called The Dating Game Killer. You ever heard of that? And dude,
Yes.
that was fucked up. Like, there was really no resolution in the movie, because there wasn't really a resolution in real life until like much later. Because here's the messed up part about this is that every time somebody reported this guy, they're just like, oh, whatever. No, you're not. You're just a woman. You know. So it took like years for this guy to even be caught, for one, and he was caught at first. And then he got out and then killed one other person, and then he finally got caught after a series of things, and then he died in freaking incarceration at 77. Like, what the hell? Anyway, that's what kind of reminded me of the whole true crime thing, and stuff like that was based off true stories and all that junk. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, there's this one story of this teenager. I'll try to make it fast, but 16, 17-year-old who was in a car and on a boat ramp. And the boat ramp is obviously going to like a lake or whatever, and he didn't put it in park, and the car went into the lake, and so the police was called, and his parents got there, and the police are towing the car out of the lake, and they found blood on the trunk, and they're like, well, what is this? And the kid goes, oh, I cut myself, and it just came from me. And the police didn't see any cuts on the kid, so they just let it go. They're like, whatever. So they take the car back to the parents' house, and during that day, a homeless man was reported missing. So the dad was cleaning his son's car and found the homeless man's wallet. Well, the dad's like, well, why do you have this? And the son says, well, I found it at the lake that I was at, where my car went to the lake. And the dad says, oh, okay. Well, the dad still gives the wallet back to the police. Then the police start to get suspicious. Well,
Right.
So what happened after was, oh gosh, what happened? Sorry, don't mind me, pregnancy brain.
Babies? Sorry, we don't talk about babies. Go on.
So the wallet was given to the police, and the police started getting more suspicious, and then mom was cleaning the son's closet, and she found this huge tote in the son's closet. She's like, well, what is this? Well, she opened up the lid, found a towel that was covering something, so she took that out of the tote, put it in the sink, uncovered the towel, and there was a human head.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so the mom obviously freaks out, calls the police, and says, I think my son's a murderer. And police come and take the son into custody. Well, the son's like, well, you got me, so I'll tell you everything.
Well, might as well.
Yeah,
Here's
he's
your
like,
prize. The truth.
Well, here you go. And so the son's like, yeah, I kept the human head for a trophy. And
Yeah, 'cause that's
basically, I
what
just
we
want
keep.
to, right, like, it starts to smell. How would you not keep it hidden? But
Well,
anyway.
here's another thing. If you want to keep trophies, like, I understand that's what most serial killers do, or killers, or whatever, what have you. But it's usually something small, something they can hide, something that they can collect themselves, and typically it won't be found by the general population. Like, I don't know, hair, panties, jewelry,
Head.
you know, whatever, you know. Head.
Yeah, I know. It's like, why would you pick a head? Like, ew. You just open up the towel and you're like, hey, I killed that
Like
guy.
I think it was
Like,
Billy the Kid from like Silence of the Lambs. Goodbye, horsey.
so yeah, the kid's like, well, I started all this because I watched that Jeffrey Dahmer series, and I was
Oh
like,
my
hey,
god.
wow, that's cool. I want to see what it's like to kill something. And yeah, it all started because of the Jeffrey Dahmer series on Netflix.
That's messed up.
Mhm.
You know what? You people are starting to scare me.
Oh, honey, we haven't even got started yet.
You have no room to talk with the jokes you said in the last podcast. Sit down. I'm
Look,
kidding.
I'm just pointing it out. We were supposed to talk about horror games, and we're actually getting to the topic of Jeffrey Dahmer. I think we got off track a little bit.
Not really. I
No,
said
wait.
movies and shows too.
Oh,
Jeffrey Dahmer is child's play, honey. Let's start talking about John Wayne Gacy or Charles Manson. You want to
I'll
going?
just go
Let me
ahead.
know.
I'll just
Oh,
go
yeah.
ahead and announce. Just to keep things going, Lil, it's your turn now.
Oh, okay. I see how he is. He just shuts me up with more content.
No, because no, I'm talking about because of the whole ladies first thing. We gotta get everybody through here.
Valid. Okay. So I did write up a list because I don't know, out of everyone, I am very much what they call a weeb. So, which is basically English for massively into anime and just Japanese culture, and just, it's not that I'm obsessed with it. It makes me feel comfortable. I've been doing it since I was freaking since I was a kid. I think my very first anime technically was Sailor Moon. Very first anime game was called Wild Arms. So yeah, what is happening?
in other
Bringing
words-
in the big names. True. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of games that I started off with. So to start off my list, anime shows and or movies, but it's mostly shows. I don't think I picked any movies. I don't actually watch a lot of anime horror. I typically like to keep that stuff light for me. Because anime, I mean, I only listen to a certain genre, and I'm not going to get into that. But yeah. So I'll just go to a list of things I have actually watched. There is Tokyo Ghoul. There's Parasite. There's Goblin Slayer. There's Black Butler, there's Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, To Your Eternity, and Angels of Death. Now, all of those are really great suggestions if you wanted to get into more of a spookier, thriller, horror, anime vibe. If you're into the darker anime, those are really great suggestions. But out of all of those, there's three main ones that I like the most. Tokyo Ghoul takes my number one spot. That is Chef's Kiss. Good anime. Now ignore season, what was it, 3? We don't like to talk about that one. But they're supposed to be coming up with another season, and it's supposed to be redeemable. So fingers crossed for that. Number 2 would be To Your Eternity. Now I love this one so much. That one, I don't know why they considered it horror. I guess there are some creepy vibes to it, but I feel like it's a mix of everything, but it's a really, really good show. And number 3 would be Jujutsu Kaisen. That one is on the supernatural force and maybe a little bit of horror. That one's kind of messed up, and it's really popular. It's really good, though, so I would suggest watching it. As for games, again, I don't really play a lot of horror games, but I've been trying to delve into it more. As for anime horror games, I've only really played one, but I want to try 2 that I've mentioned here. So number 1 that I played was Doki Doki Literature Club, and that was messed up. It knows who you are, for one, and it calls you out, and you'll be going along with this because it completely fools you into thinking that it's this one thing. And I don't want to do too much spoilers because, trust me, you want to experience this the first time. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone because it's like a unspoken rule that anybody who's played it, we don't talk about the massive details of it because we want everyone to deal with what we dealt with when we first played it. So if you haven't played it yet, play it and suffer with us. Please. And then record it so we can watch it.
It was more emotionally taxing on me than it was scary.
You know why it scared me, and I won't speak of it, but you know why it scared me.
Oh, I know why it scared you.
Number 2 is, for me, is called Angels of Death. Now, I mentioned this in the anime shows as well. Now, Angels of Death did start off as a video game first. It's very cutesy, and they turned it into an anime adaptation. It is really cute. It's basically this girl who's trying to find, she's like found in this basement, and she just wants somebody to kill her. And she finds this like psychopath killer guy that's actually kind of weirdly cute. And she's like, hey, I want you to kill me. He's like, yeah, but I want to live. So they basically go through this entire insanity hospital thing. And they keep going through all these serial killers, and he keeps killing them for her because he wants to be one that kills her. And it's just this really cute story, oddly enough. And then the third one is Chaos Head Noah. It kind of has the same feel of Doki Doki. It's a visual novel, just like Doki Doki is, and it seems like it's got a lot of gore. So I think, Stat, maybe we should try that one at some point because because of Doki Doki. So I don't know.
Okay.
Something to think about.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a shot.
Right? Same here. Who's next?
Alderon, you're next.
Okay. I do not have any anime shows I watch. I'm not a fan, really. Sorry.
All good.
It's just I don't know. I just haven't never got into. But
It's like
I would
horror
just-
in general, or
no, it's just anime horror or just
oh, okay.
anime in
it.
general is what I never really got into. So the let's just go with the shows that I would say because I haven't really watched any horror shows as much. That's really
We can do movies too. That's why I mentioned movies, horror movies in general. It doesn't have to be Japanese. It doesn't have to be anime. It could be just run of the mill, It or
yeah.
Amityville horror, whatever.
I guess the show that kind of sticks out to me in my mind is it was on Netflix. It's Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities.
Oh yeah, I see that one.
So that was really good because these are actually bizarre nightmares unfold in 8 tales of terror and visually stunning and spine tingling horror collection curated by Guillermo del Toro himself.
No, I have to say, Spanish or Mexican or however you want to go about it, they are some scary motherfuckers too.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean, who comes up with something like the chupacabra? Like, what the hell?
I would say he's really good an artist and in general. Like he's done it phenomenal. He's done an actual drawing of creatures and stuff like that. I think he had part of doing Hellboy. He also had I can't remember all of his. He's done part of the design for the game of Death Stranding. He's also participated in development and acted or did the CGI motion picture for it. But that's one of the shows that I would say that was particularly really good in horror. It had really good twists to it. Had a little bit of jump scares. Say Morgino and I watched it together. And then I guess for the movies, that I would say horror movies that really go with the theme was definitely the Conjuring series. So
Ooh, yeah.
also yes, that goes with Chris as well. She said it in the chat. La Llorona. That's part of the Conjuring series.
Is it?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, it's it's not directly tied into, but it's like I would say it's canon to it.
I have to say something. So I've been in regards to the Conjuring series. Now I know that the Warners had a partake in that. I was doing some research on it because I loved the Conjuring series, the entire what was it, 1 through 3, and then the Annabelle series that is connected to it and stuff like that.
Yes.
I remember there was a documentary that showed up in regards to the Conjuring series, basically the real life story, what what sparked the Conjuring series to even enlight, because it is lightly based I want to say lightly. It is lightly based on a true story.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is though, watching that documentary puts a sick feeling in my stomach because now I'm starting to question how much was this curated, you know, and conned into us believing that it's true, or how much of is it actually true? You know, because they're basically saying so the family that was actually affected have basically so some of the family members believe that it actually happened, like all of the events they believe
Hmm.
that it really truly happened, like all these events. And it's not as bad as like the movie portrays it to be. It is
Oh
pretty
yeah.
messed up though. So I mean, I'm not going to give out too many spoilers, so those who want to watch it, I believe it's on Netflix somewhere along with some of the Conjuring movies. I forgot. I think it's the boy the devil made me do it is what it's called. um but then there's the actual, you know, person himself that was, i.e., possessed, is saying, I don't know if this actually happened to me. And then there's like a family member of his that says, no, all of this was a lie. They basically made up a book about it and, you know, they just spun it off and we no longer got to, you know, have any say in it, is what they're saying. And it's so it makes me kind of wonder like there is some points to that as well as some points to the you know, it could have happened. So it's
Hmm.
crazy that all this has happened. So I'm wondering how La Llorona has. I know a little bit about what that is about, but not fully enough to really say anything.
You'll have to definitely watch it, and I've looked online. I can't quite remember why it is part of the series.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, with the Conjuring series, yeah, the writers have made it a bit more
Hollywood.
exaggerated to appeal appear really great or to appease the viewers.
Yeah.
But I did see the documentary, and I did see the Ghost Adventurers did go to that house and have did a
Yeah.
documentary on that one too. And
I
yeah,
didn't watch that one. Did they get anything out of that one?
they got not quite as much as you would expect. Of course, I don't
For how bad it
really.
was?
Yeah, I don't really believe Ghost Adventures as much because
Yeah. I
they
believe the
haven't.
first couple of seasons, but I feel like anything after that is a little hyped up.
I think it's a bit more scripted than
Yeah.
what it really is. Um, and then it says even of course you don't really want to trust Wikipedia, but also Wikipedia can be credited to a certain point. But it says it's scripted, so I'm wondering if they got some evidence, but most of it's kind of been made up or
But I
exaggerated.
got. I mean, there's such a big show now. I think he's got. I think what's his face? His name is it Zach? The main
Yes,
guy? I
Yeah,
yes.
forgot.
yeah.
Yeah. I believe he's got like 2 to 3 other shows on top of Ghost Adventures. So I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, it is scripted and he's just kind of feeding off the masses here at this point.
I think he
Nothing
is.
against Ghost Adventures, by the way. If he ever happens to
Yeah.
come across this, we love you.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, hold on. I'm a big fan of Ghost
I
Adventures.
know,
So
same
wait
here,
a-
same here, same here. But like I said, the first couple of seasons, loved them. After that, I'm just like, after a while, you're like, hey, you did the same exact skit like 4 episodes ago.
Yep. But with the whole thing, yeah, there was controversies to it with the Warren family. They the part is that the ones who were involved believe it and it was real to them, and
Yeah.
especially the one that was possessed. And it's just with
I think he was on the fence from what I was getting from that documentary. He definitely something happened, you
yeah.
know, but
And
he just can't pinpoint exactly what it is. So that's why he's also kind of like, I don't know, dude.
well, most of the time that I've read up with possessions, a lot of the affected ones don't remember exactly what happened. Um, and it kind of goes along with the person who was affected in the the Conjuring. But with the Conjuring series, it's really it's like a really perfect series or movie series that goes with horror. Like it's
Oh yeah. I
it
mean, with The
fits in.
Exorcist out there, Paranormal Activity, you know, it
Yeah.
really fits in with that vibe. Speaking of
Oh
The
yeah.
Exorcist, by the way, they have like a weird sequel that's on Netflix
Hmm.
now. I think it's on Netflix.
Yes.
Called Exorcist Believer. And that I mean, granted, I feel like they could have improved on, but that wasn't a bad sequel because not only was it not a bad sequel, but they also
Hmm.
brought back the mother and the daughter of the first movie and like the actors of the
Yeah,
first movie into this movie, and I thought that was cool. I
yeah,
wish they had more screen time though.
yeah. Definitely the original Exorcist movies, and The Conjuring definitely fits in. Goes up to par with it. I
Oh yeah.
can't choose either one of them. Like the actors, the story written, and then it's being The Conjuring actually being based on true events. That makes it even more horrifying because it's like, oh wow, this,
Yeah.
and
The
especially
Paranormal Activity is really bad.
it's in the U.S. and it's like holy cow, and that's U.S. is pretty big, but it's also pretty darn close. Um, but their
Here's the thing though,
house,
with the US when it comes to like horror and stuff like that, there is I mean, we have entire ghost towns, like legit
mm,
ghost towns where, shit's bad happen. There not only that, there's known locations for like haunted houses that people to this day will not go into.
oh
So
yeah,
like you just have to simply look it up and it's all over America. For whatever reason, Oregon has a lot of places.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I wonder
yeah,
why.
yeah. In the state, three of us live in, it seems to like to cover up a lot of its horror or bad events. Like you really have to dive into the history or go to an actual history events of your state. When they actually do these, because I was in school when we actually went to a lady who actually was the narrator for it and brought out the real horror stuff that really happened in the state of Indiana, and it was just like holy cow, this really did happen. And she was like, yeah, and it's not talked about, and it's not in your US history books. You really got to go hunt for it and find it. um
Yeah.
but with the Warren family, the house is real, and the house has a lot of I would say haunted, I guess, artifacts, and they actually have a priest there and bless the house, blesses every artifact. Um, I think they do
They're
it. I
not.
don't
I'm
know.
assuming they can't remove it from the home because otherwise
They
it just
the
causes a problem.
I don't know, but that's the house has pretty much now became kind of a somewhat a historical building. I don't know if the wife
Oh,
is
they
still
really,
alive
by
yet.
law and by spiritual like suspicion, if I remember correctly, how that works. So if it's become a historical building, then therefore they cannot make any changes to that building, or do anything to that building that would cause to ruin the integrity of the actual house. And two, when it comes to spiritual artifacts, typically if they don't find it safe enough to move, they will not move, and that's why the priestess are blessing it every so often.
So I'm not sure what's really coming about the house, but I know that it's like it makes me worry about what people are going to do with this house. Are they, once, I think Warren has passed away, am I correct? And the wife
I
is
can look
still
it up real
alive.
quick.
Um,
Warren.
but it's
What
like I
was their
know
names? It was Warren.
Warren and Lorraine,
That's right. Yeah. Warren.
or that's there. It's Ed and Lorraine.
That's right. Warren and
So the Warrens are the
Warren was
last
her
name.
last name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren was the last
Jinx.
name.
But it's got all these haunted artifacts, and it's going to go up to the estate, and then you don't know what's going to really happen. It's like, are there a bunch of
They
people
are.
going to like take all these artifacts and put them in a museum? I know Zach Bagans is going to get his hands on some of this, so because he's already got a museum in L.A. and so it's just like I
Probably.
hope the stuff just stays put where it's at.
So the status of Ed and Lorraine Warren, they have both passed away. Ed
Okay.
passed away August 23rd, 2006 at the age of 79 in Monroe, Connecticut. Lorraine passed away April 18th, 2019 at 92, also in Monroe, Connecticut.
Okay, so I
So
wonder
they
what's
have
going to go
passed
on
away.
with their estate. Okay.
Do they have any kids? Hold on.
Yeah,
They
they
have
have
one
a.
child. Don't know who that is though. They didn't list the name of that child, but it looks like so I wouldn't be surprised if the one child is either, you know, probably in charge of that, or if they probably had somebody else in charge of that they probably listed down too.
They'll be
Oh yeah.
hunting ghosts in heaven.
Oh yeah. Um, and going to the games, the horror games, I'd say I've done a few, but the ones that really stuck out, I'd say the Resident Evil remakes. Those, you know, those were like really got me
You're
fairly
doing
well.
Silent Hill right now, aren't you?
Yes. That's one of them. So Resident Evil remakes, definitely. And then like Resident Evil Village, Morgana and I played together, and the particular part that really got us, you know, our hairs on the back of our necks to stick up, or got us to scream, actually,
Isn't that the one
was
with the vampire chick where she's like super freaking tall that Markiplier like just
yes,
oogles over?
yes. Everybody oogles about her. Lady
hot.
Jamestic whatever her name is. I just butchered it,
I
but
mean, she is kind of hot.
yeah.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because there's a question I've always had because I haven't really gone beyond the first one yet. It,
Yes, you can order her poster.
but the is Resident Evil drifting away from the zombie thing as each game goes? Because
No.
it looks like there's more than
No.
I was
just
gonna say, I think
zombies.
they're
No.
pretty dedicated to it. They're pretty dedicated.
Because
yeah.
because I don't see how that woman you mentioned, because I know who you're talking about, though I've only seen her in memes and stuff like that. But it's like I don't think zombie when I see her, so it's like, what is with that?
I thought she was a vampire.
She's actually some sort of hybrid.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
you really gotta dive into the lore of Resident Evil, and Resident Evil is not definitely just about zombies.
And you can't count the movies because the movies were standalone technically. For
I
the
know.
most part.
Yes,
Oh, I know
and-
that.
Why
but
don't you just play the game?
the games were definitely, especially the comics of it, of the stuff of Resident Evil.
There's so much
it's
lore on that game.
yes,
It's
and
ridiculous.
let's just say that the company Umbrella Company has really taken this and
I find so
and-
many Umbrella Company freaking signs on like on cars. Like the amount is
yeah.
ridiculous.
and it's not just them, but they went through and did a lot of scientific stuff with the
T virus and all that.
with the
junk.
the so-called T virus, and
And the
it,
cloud.
but also it goes back in history and the lore where it goes hundreds of years ago, and it's some type of a symbiote thing, and they called it a mitomycete, whatever it is. So it's some type or organic.
Mold.
There's say what?
It's mold.
Mold. Yes, there you go. It's it's
Is it
some
kind of
type
like The Last of Us, where like they kind of based off like the actual research of like what was it, mushrooms?
Let's just
Mm.
say it's like just say let's go to Marvel, like the symbiote for Venom. It is
Oh,
like
okay.
it's like that. But it is
But on
mold.
massive amounts of steroids.
Before we go
Yeah.
too far, I should bring up that Chris mentioned she's like a leader of an area or something, and the zombies are like underlings. That was my take, at least. May not be true, as I only played Resident Evil Village.
I played the first and second one. It's janky as all.
Yeah, and that's what for particular her area, the Lady D. That's what's going to call her.
The D.
She's pretty much was that, but there's so much to it. There's also the main the god of it of the fungus, but she pretty much isn't god of the mold. She lost spoilers, she lost her daughter and she's trying to bring her back to life. So she's...
I remember that being the thing. Yeah, she was looking. There was something about her daughter. I remember that being a
Yes,
thing. So that's not really a spoiler. They do kind of reveal that a little bit if you
yeah,
research it.
yeah, and this is not Lady D. This is some I don't know who she really was, but she just came out of nowhere for me. But you really got to get into the lore, and there's so much more to it.
I have to
And
say, I'm really
then,
impressed that they were making they're making these horrors or these like zombie like movies
mhm.
in video games based off actual scientific stuff that could, if extremed,
Oh yeah,
if pushed past that limit, could potentially do something. Like the whole Last of Us thing, the fact that
yeah.
it affects ants in that way, that's messed up. Like if it was just a bit stronger, it probably could happen. That's messed up. That's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, and I'm
Well,
not.
I was gonna say it started to affect tarantulas now, and they say that's
Is it?
a brand new. Uh huh.
Somebody crack down on that shit before it gets worse.
It
Right.
does affect a lot of insects actually, and I don't know how to say what the fungus actually is, but it's
Sarah,
Cold
was it?
as-
Cordyceps.
yeah, okay.
Cordyceps. Yeah.
Um, but with the Resident Evil, I don't know if it's really based on that. But it's I think they kind of maybe possibly based off of that, but turned it into an actual virus instead of a.
The Last of Us is based off of it, that's for sure. They said it in
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
newspaper.
Yeah, well, the series definitely, the TV series definitely based off of the more
I think the TV series
cordyceps.
wanted to put that in there to kind of give a basis so that people understood why this was happening. Because let's face it, when it comes to zombie movies, like we've heard it all. We really have. There's the fast zombies, there's the slow zombies, there's like the bloodthirsty zombies, there's 28 Days Later. There's all these zombie movies, and like we've seen it all. So Last of Us kind of put a new twist on it.
Well, if you if you play the very beginning of the Last of Us game, where you're playing Joel's daughter, before Joel gets to the house, if you take the time to actually walk into the bathroom, there's a newspaper there, and if you take the time to actually read
it does show it.
If you read the newspaper, it talks about how it started out with spores that actually took over like ants and all that, and how it evolved and started affecting humans.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to look for it inside the game, but it is there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and
So the,
with the TV series, they did state that they had issues with the spore situation, so they didn't really believe they want to make it more realistic. So they kind of like, well, the spore situation where it's in a contained area, like it was in a game where it was in a zone, and you walk in it and you're getting affected. He goes, well, you can't really. In reality, that's not possible because you got.
How'd they do it in the TV series again? I forgot how they went with that because it's been a while.
I think
since
they got rid of the
Flower.
spore situation.
What was
So
it?
they didn't.
It was in flour. They were using it to make
Oh.
things.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right, because when she ate the little biscuit things from the neighbor's house, or she was going to,
Mhm.
all the freaking old people went freaking nuts. Though I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they were using it in the flour, but also there was in your actual in reality in flour. That and I actually worked at a pretzel factory, and we had to deal with an actual flour bug. That's it homes itself into flour, and it gets mixed into the food, and it gets cooked, and you sometimes might be eating a bug in your pretzel.
You know what?
Um,
I stopped eating pistachios because I almost ate a bug. Don't make me stop eating flour. I like flour.
Okay.
That
Um,
and
oh,
it was
sorry.
I can't remember what it was called. It was like a flour beetle or whatever, and it's in flour. It likes to home itself in there, and I guess that's what they kind of did in this TV series where it was affecting the flour. It's being used in the flour, but the spore situation, it's like when you have an area that has a spore, but you also got the wind, so the spores is going to travel. In the game, it doesn't travel, and that's in reality. So that's why they
You want to
kind
know
of
something funny about The Last of
they
Us
get-
coming out with the TV show? So I don't know if it's correlated or not in time frames. Maybe it's that weird scenario where like you hear about one thing and then your brain keeps thinking about it. So like you keep seeing it everywhere. Like if you really want a car and you keep seeing that car everywhere, that kind of weird relativity. So after I watched The Last of Us, the TV show, because I've never played the games, planning on to it, but I haven't done it yet. But after I watched the Last of Us series, this ad kept coming up like randomly on my social media, and it's that mud water stuff that's made from like mushrooms. And it's supposed to like empower your brain and give you more energy and no crash time. And I was like really interested in doing it, honestly, but like after watching The Last of Us, I'm like, should I? No.
Chris says raw flour is also highly toxic, I believe.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Flammable.
Now,
Yes.
now before we take up too much time, we have one person left who has yet to.
You have two people.
Anyways, the last person here is Hergon. Hergon, what horror games, TV shows, or movies do you get into, and why?
Okay, so I'm gonna go speed through this because there's a lot of it. So I'm just gonna generalize so so we save time. First of all, I started with wise, right? I started.
Yeah, we're starting with either shows or games, however you want to start it.
Okay, so games. Resident Evil, the works, except the Village because I still haven't bought it. I played it at friend's house. For me, it's awesome. Kind of a contentious point. Just please don't.
Hello?
Also, Alien. I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce it. Alien Isolation. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
That thing gotten me literally, forgive the expression, shit in my pants. That is a terrifying game. What else? Amnesia. And Slender the 8 Pages.
Oh, yeah.
As for the movies, I would recommend you a couple of things. Well, it's comedy / horror, so the entire Evil Dead series of movies. And the show was on Stars in American television. I'm not sure if you can actually get it. It's also great with Bruce Campbell. What else? Two classic movies as well. One is a kind of a newer one. It's called The Mist. I think it was with Thomas Jane, and it's horror through and through, based on a Stephen King novel. And
Yeah, I remember watching that one. That was the one.
the ending is just
It's fucked up, is what it is. We don't talk about the ending.
Anyway, if you're a horror fan or listener, check those out. And the other one, it's basically a trilogy of movies by John Carpenter. One is The Prince of Darkness. The other one is The Thing. And the third one is The Maw of Madness. I would highly recommend those for you guys.
Speaking of that, on that note, I just want to mention before we go further, M. Night Shyamalan, anyone? Like,
Yeah,
also,
The Sign.
all of his work. Well, yeah, The Sign, the Visit, the trilogy of Unbreakable, Split.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
There's so many.
Also, just wanted to point it out. Remember when you talked about The Last of Us and the cordyceps infection?
Mhm.
It's a little horror anecdote I would like to share with you guys. Is remember when people talk about medieval and witches and everything else in Europe, werewolves and vampires, stuff like that, and burning people at the stake, all that?
Yes, witch trials and all that, yeah.
Yeah, there is a theory, and it's largely proven scientifically, I didn't check this for a couple of years, but that was the recent scientific stuff, is basically it all tends for a parasitic shroom that was on the wheat that the poor people ate. And
it makes sense.
basically it was toxic, and it made people hallucinate and see shit.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's why we have this rule. Especially in America, like don't just go around eating shrooms that you find willy nilly. Really, if you're gonna go shroom picking, really know what you're looking for.
Yeah, and that's about it for me. Maybe Morgino can share a little bit more from her experience about what she prefers.
Well, Statton hasn't said anything about his horror movie or show.
Oh, yeah, go on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up now.
Okay, so as far as
Keep in mind that we did start a little bit later, so we do have a few more minutes, so we're good.
I know. I do apologize that if we don't have enough time for any viewers to hop in on. We're still working out the kinks here.
We've had viewers hop in so far. I mean,
No,
Chris has
well,
hopped in quite a bit.
well, I meant in the VC chat.
Oh, I don't even think we have room. We're at 5 capacity.
Oh, well, I gotta correct that. So we'll just
you do.
We'll just assume that. Well, I'll play it by ear. I'll correct it if there's any time after I'm done ranting. Okay, so as a kid, my taste in horror films have actually kind of changed. The supernatural stuff doesn't scare me as much, largely due to the fact that, and yes, I'm bringing this up, but I will not make it the main point. If it's spiritual activity that doesn't seem to be biblically accurate, that takes away from the horrorness for me. But back when I was a kid,
Can't get Christianity ruining horror movies once again.
pipe down.
I'm joking. I'm sorry. That's not true. There's a lot of good Christianity movies out there that are based off really good horror, so go on.
Time for a little corporal punishment from Statton.
No! Wait, hold on.
What?
No.
Anyways, but as a kid, I was very terrified of the Child's Play movies. And actually, that's the weird part. I loved the Child's Play movies.
Want to know what Stat sounded like when he was listening to the Child's Play movies? Like that.
Not quite. That's the weird part. I loved the movies, but they also terrified me at the same time. So I would never pass by a chance to watch them. But, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I know if I don't, certain family members may post comments under this video and out me. So I'm going to out myself here.
I want to know who those family members are. Let me talk to them.
But anyways, because of the Child's Play movies, I would always was terrified to get too close to a My Buddy doll when I was a kid.
Yep.
Like I'd see.
See, I had freaking porcelain dolls, and I watched that movie. Yeah, I don't have those anymore.
It's like no, it's like it could be just visiting somebody else's house, right? If it's a cousin and everything. I pass by their bedroom with their door open. Suddenly, there's like a My Buddy doll in the wall. I'm like, yeah, I'm backing away. I'm not getting close to this room. It's like I was
Can I go home?
I was too dumb back then to recognize the visual differences. Like a Chucky doll obviously has red hair. My Buddy doll doesn't. I didn't pick up on that. The two I was so terrified they could pass off as Doublemint twins for all I cared back then.
Not to mention, I just wanted to point out, you know what they say about gingers, right? Kind of checks out.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. I was thinking a butt. Go on.
Anyway, but then as time progressed, I see horror as kind of a formula anymore because around the time when I was in 5th grade, watched the original Stephen King's The Shining. There was.
Did you watch The Stand? The Stand was the best one, I feel like.
I saw The Stand, but it took me to watch it several times before I could watch it all the way through because it's like I don't have a short attention span, but man, is it
It was a long movie. It was so long. But you know what? Who the best character was? The trash can man.
It's like
My life for you.
Hold on a second. Chris just posted something. Porcelain dolls are the worst. My mom had some. A clown one fell off the shelf and shattered. Next day, it was sitting on the shelf like nothing happened. Another girl doll broke. My mom threw her out. Next day, she was in the closet.
Chris, that is literally your mom messing with you.
Chris, is this true? I want to know it. Did
I was-
are you saying that
Keep
this
in
actually
mind-
happened?
Keep in mind that there's probably some lag, so we probably won't get this answer for another like a minute or two.
Anyways, the thing is there aren't anything in The Shining in terms of jump scares, nothing that makes you jump, but the way it plays out, you are tense the whole time as though you are waiting for a jump scare to happen. And that to me is a perfect kind of horror, a game that scares you without actually jump scaring you, and you don't see very many of those anymore. And
Maybe like Outlast.
huh?
Well,
No, that
Like
that
Outlast.
no, that one does have jump scares, but the
Oh,
Shining
okay.
has no jump scares, yet has you tense up at the edge of your seat till the very end when you're watching it for the first time, as though it's almost like it builds you up for a jump scare, but the jump scare never happens. But your
That's
heart
not
is
okay. I don't like that.
well,
For whatever
That's the
reason, I
thing.
like the jump scares.
well, that's the thing. The modern horror movies are actually more reliant on jump scares than actually building this kind of creepy atmosphere.
Yeah.
just
I
got
don't
a
know.
response
Yeah.
from Chris. Yes, it's true. Yes, true.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, think about it. What I heard about the Shining, Stephen King actually didn't like very much that how what Kubrick did to it. So I'm pretty sure that Stanley Kubrick after the premiere was every evening he was checking his closet for Stephen King.
You know what one of Stephen King's better movies was? Misery.
Ooh.
That movie was fucked.
He
I
couldn't
saw
get
it.
out of the cocky duty car.
Honestly, I think I saw what was it, sort of gala with the actress that played the Misery chick in that movie, right?
Kathy
She-
Bates, that's her name.
Yes,
I love
the,
her.
the skit was. Do you forgive the language, but I'm just quoting. Do you know how fucking hard it was to get a date after that movie?
I bet it was really hard. I felt, but you know what? She's such a beautiful woman. And just kind of an offset, Kathy Bates and Fried Green Tomatoes. If you want to get over that, watch that movie. Then you'll get over
Alright.
it.
About that, I didn't know anything about the movie back when about how many years I just found out about the movie in like 2016 when a coworker of mine and
What
was
movie?
Misery. Yeah, and and he's like you got to watch it. So he tells me, he doesn't tell me everything, but he
Does
does
he
give
know
me
that you're a writer?
He-
Is
no,
that why
he-
he told you to watch it?
No, he's into horror flicks. He's a
Oh, okay.
he doesn't, and it doesn't have to be Halloween. He and I would talk about different ones, and he told me the basic plot point, and he's like, "Dude, do you know what it'd be like to be injured as a writer, to where you can't leave a house, and some fan of yours traps you in the house, and she won't let you go?" And I'm like, "Well, that depends. Is she hot?"
That's what I was gonna say.
Because we all gotta make
I mean,
sacrifices.
step on me, mommy.
But
Just step on me. It's
he
okay.
he looks at me. It's like it's Kathy Bates. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. Is she hot? It's like,
Honestly, I would be okay if she would look like Scarlett Johansson or something.
No.
now,
Sorry,
now,
no
just to
offense
clarify,
Scarlett, no.
Alderon knows this about me more than anyone else. Just because I don't know who someone is by name doesn't mean I've never seen them before. So sometimes when he brings up a celebrity, I'm like, I have no idea who that is. He'll quickly bring up a movie we saw together, bring up the character they play. I'm like, oh, that's the person. Okay, so yeah.
That's
Okay,
true.
so
By the way,
to
Chris
ela-
says stat with a laughing emoji.
Okay, so to elaborate, Statton, what I meant is Scarlett Johansson as in Black Widow from the Iron Man movie.
No.
Never seen it.
And Lil, why no?
Because Scarlett Johansson, just like Megan Fox, is over freaking rated. No offense to the woman, she's a great actress. I just no.
Tell it to my libido.
Well, you know what?
Well,
Your
you kind of
libido-
you just backed
has-
up Lil's point by saying that, because you said she. I mean, I do agree with it, because I made a similar heart-to-heart video about not an actress, but a famous YouTuber, and I said she's only famous because people find her hot. That's it, and that was XX or SS Sniper Wolf, and so
Oh yeah.
so Scarlett
yeah.
Johansson and Megan Fox, they're the SS Sniper Wolves of Hollywood.
They
Who's
really are.
Sniper Wolf?
And like Chris says, honestly, same about remembering names, and she says yes, overrated. So thank you as another female.
Yeah, okay.
I say Sigourney Weaver. You know, that's my pick. But
Yes.
And Chris
yeah,
said,
yeah.
honestly, the same about remembering names,
just said
and
that,
yes,
Stat.
overrated. Huh?
I just said that.
Oh, you said that out loud? Oh, I'm sorry.
God.
Well, I'm trying to work multiple things here.
I
Can
got
you-
you. I'm looking at the chat. You're fine.
Okay, I'll just assume you read it out loud. I just want people to feel included, okay?
I did make her feel good. Chris, are you included? Yes, you are.
I'm shushing
You
you,
know what?
while pressing
You know
my
what?
fingers against your lips. Shh.
That's one thing.
And it
You
doesn't
just
work.
lost
And
the
then
game.
yeah,
Oh, wait, hold up. For everyone who knows what that is, sorry, y'all lost the game. Deal with it. I said it.
I don't get it.
Statton,
Yeah.
fetch the chloroform. We need to silence her.
Good
Get the
one.
bottle.
No. Everybody here gives this podcast life.
Yes, it does. And I'm the biggest life there is because of my badonkadunks. Okay, that's as far as I'm gonna go.
Because of your what?
what?
You're what?
Your what?
Morgana knows what I'm talking about, don't you, Morgana?
I sure do.
I-
I mean,
I-
Morgano, could you explain since she won't?
No,
I'm
it's
lost.
a girl secret.
like a dump truck or
No, badonkadunks. It's the two ones up top.
Oh, and
What?
I actually misheard you, Lil, and I heard that you're an orthodontist. So I was like, what?
Yes, sir. I'm an orthodontist. Totally. Now sit down and shut up.
sit down, open your mouth.
And put your titties on the glass. Okay, I'm done. Okay, I feel like since Statton's already done his thing and we've all done our thing, I think it's time for the advertisements and the wrapping up of this show.
Agreed.
Whoa.
First, I apologize to you viewers for not changing the chat rules so that one of you at a time could set foot in.
We're still working into this, though. I mean, keep in mind that
Well,
this is our fourth
not-
episode.
I really quick. I just want to make a comment based on what you were saying just now, Lil, because we almost came close to derailing again, and I was.
I know, and I stopped it, didn't I?
But there's a movie, an old movie, early '90s called Major League, and it's a
Ooh,
yeah.
it's a baseball
Yeah, that's
game,
cool.
and while the sports guys were talking, he says that's it, just one gosh darn hit. Only he says it, and he's like, "You can't say that on the air." He's like, "Don't worry, nobody's listening anyways."
Exactly.
But anyways, for the advertisements, this is brought to you by Alderon's YouTube gaming channel, Beauty Gamers YouTube gaming channel, Liz Blazeheart's Twitch stream, and did I mention Lil? Did I mention you already? Yeah.
You have not mentioned me. No.
Okay. Lil's new, improved gaming / art.
Okay, hold on. Revamped Crystal Dreams Creations.
Revamped Crystal Dreams Creation. I'll leave a link to all three of those things in the description of the video.
Keep in mind my YouTube's about playthroughs and speed paints, so
And
keep that in mind.
ASMR. Anyways,
Not ASMR yet.
I think we all got some ASMR, like horror ASMR. So we'll scream every
Yeah, we
once
got-
in a while.
We got that.
there's nothing more soothing and tingly than
That's
somebody
great.
Hearing
scream.
people screams. So you got
Did you
stats.
hear that video out loud?
And
The video that I did, I literally broke the audio. That I screamed so loud, I broke the audio.
And also,
Let me
and just as a reminder to all you viewers, I do have a Venmo account, and I leave a link to it in the description of all my videos for optional donations. Donations are not required, but they are appreciated. That's what those donations is what gives us the freedom to speak as openly without and violating the social media rules, and we don't get penalized for it. Thank you. Suck
Yeah.
it, YouTube. Anyways,
Fuck it.
Suck it, Susan.
so with that said, Morgino, we enjoyed having you here. We hope that you can
Yeah, please
drop
come back.
in every
I like
now and then.
you.
Yeah, I think it's only because of work if I don't have to be here, you know.
Well,
Well,
that's so.
Dang
I don't know if
nursing
you
job.
submit you-
Ugh.
it is pinned. We do have a schedule, so as long as if you can't make it, just let us know. But like the next few, oh, wrong room. Oops, dumb Kayla. There I go again, dropping my name. Okay, so the next one is supposed to be November 3rd, and it's going to be about gaslighting. So we are kind of alternating between serious and just fun subjects. So if you've ever been gaslit before, just pray for that.
For
The
next,
next one.
oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, next one is gaslighting. After that one is feeling thankful and fun stories. So basically in the theme of Thanksgiving or just being thankful in general if you're not one that celebrates Thanksgiving. And then we have the one after that, seasonal depression, which I feel like should be mentioned considering, seasonal depression during seasonal whatnot. And then we got the Christmas episode, and then we have our New Year's resolution. And I believe our tinfoil hat avenger over here has a subject that he wants to talk about when we're done with those ones. But we haven't
And we
yet.
have a potential guest for January too.
Ooh.
Nice.
She is a former TikToker. I definitely agree with a lot of her views. She is the type of person that when she states the truth, she'll say it with the utmost confidence and assertion. like she'll say it like this: "Look, I'm just flat out sick of this, so I'm gonna just let it out for what it really is for all you people." Now,
This sounds like my kind of lady.
yes. Now the thing is TikTok is a very toxic place when it comes to comments
I mean, let's
and
face it,
feedback.
most places are toxic. It doesn't matter if it's TikTok or not.
Well, yeah, but TikTok's more social. Let's be honest with you. People interact more than with YouTube comments. It's just a comment, but TikTokers and comments on TikTok are like
attack you in there.
conversations.
It's nuts.
Now, so it just for the sake of her mental health, she backed out of it, but she and I remained friends, and we are in contact with each other through Instagram, and she said she'd be interested.
Has she listened to our other podcast yet, or no?
I've sent her links to it. I'll have to ask, but she's also a busy lady too.
Yeah, sounds like my also kind of lady.
Now, with that said, I don't remember if I laid out this rule for all of you, so I'm going to lay it out right now. But usually and I'm sorry, Morgino, I didn't think to do this with you. I think it's because we already had a subject planned. But normally when we have guests on here, we will usually let them choose the subjects in the future. So I do.
She did pretty good despite that fact. I mean, she kind of fell right into it without even.
All the same, I don't want her to think I singled her out or she got gypped. She's like, "Hey, I didn't get to choose."
Yeah, so rude. I was totally waiting to pick a topic. Like, I want to talk about unicorns. Like, come on.
Yes.
Maybe we should
unicorns!
Well,
Can we talk about Charlie?
Next time we can actually talk about.
Candy Mountain, Charlie.
We could talk about you and your fiance being cousins.
Oh, does that mean your baby will have like multiple parts? Could it have a tail? I just want to see a tail.
That's not how it works.
Yes, it does.
No.
Yes, it does.
No, it's not how it works. Hollywood has warped your brain.
Yeah, I just listened to that, and I have this overwhelming urge to pour bleach to my ear canal now.
It's a joke. They're not really cousins.
Oh my god! Seriously, Hergon, after the stuff that you smell half the time, don't even get me started.
When Morgino and I end up in the same room, we will go out of our way to try to embarrass Alderon.
It doesn't really work, but I enjoy the
the attention.
Yep.
Yeah, you're always the center of attention when Morgino, Katniss, and I are around.
Yep. I think the word you're looking for is target, Statton.
Yeah, I think he's right. Yeah, I'm the target.
But a target in a good way. We like you. That's why we give you a hard time.
He likes it.
I don't know, like all three of you just give me gray hairs, man. I think I need to return the.
Wait, weren't you bald?
Oh.
No?
Aldi, can I give you shit all the time now too? I want to be a part. I want to be included. Can I give you shit, please?
I meant like Stat, Morgino, and Katniss. Them three.
Yeah, but I want to do it.
Ah,
Thank you, Chris. She heard my duck. I'm gonna call him Alfred. The duck is named Alfred. I'm really obsessed with that name.
Well, with that said, but if there ever comes a point where you just want us to knock it off Alderaan, just let us know. We never want to go too far.
No, you're all fine.
Awesome.
Stop.
With that said, this is where we shall end the podcast for today.
Quack. 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 I think we broke him. I think he burned some sort of fuse or something.
Quack.
With
I
that
keep thinking
said,
Mighty Ducks.
I think what you're trying to say, Stat, I think that's all we have for today.
yes. So everybody say goodbye, and I no longer care if you tell them you love them or not.
Bye.
Quack.
I'm just gonna say it without their consent. They love all you viewers. You're looking good, viewers. You're looking real good.
You're still not getting that Venmo, Statton.
Oh,
Wait, no, hold on. We need to be videos. Let's go. I'm gonna add my videos. I'm not wearing any clothes right now.
No, I'm ending it.
I was debating on it. Hey, Stat, no. It's all about being naked. So
My name is Statton. Like, share, and subscribe, and you all have yourselves a wonderful